Testing, 1, 2, 3. The folks on the floor are our Museum of Glass Hot Shop team. So there's Sarah walking around, Courtney with the long beard, and Ben, the tall guy, in the middle. And the woman in the gray shirt at the center, that's Katherine Gray. That's our guest artist. We've put up some of Katherine's work up on the big screen. So Katherine is a professor at Cal State Fullerton. And we're going to be making some sculptures similar to that one. So we're going to blow the forms, and then she gets them coated with this iridescent coating. It's called dichroic, and it gives you that bizarre iridescence. So all the glass that we use in our furnaces is clear glass. It has no color. We buy our colored glass separately in the form of these bars. We call them color bar. We buy them like an artist buys paint, red, yellow, blue, pink. And so when we want to make a colored object, we heat up a chunk of the color bar, we blow a bubble of clear glass from the furnace, and then we coat that clear bubble with the colored glass. So that's what these guys are up to now. So Ben in the center, he's got a little bubble of clear glass. Katherine with the gray shirt, she's heating up the color bar. The reason that we do it this way is so that we can have any color we want, anytime we want. If we filled the furnace with blue glass, we could only make blue things. But if we coat each one individually, we can make any color we want, anytime we want. So we're a bunch of artsy fartsies and not a factory, so it suits what we do. So the sculpture that we're gonna make today is gonna be more like this one here. So it's gonna be made in two pieces. We're gonna join the two pieces together. So we're gonna make one bubble of white glass, and I think the other one will be blue. And we'll join them together. And that's called Incalmo. Can we put up the Incalmo slide? So we'll take the two bubbles, we'll open them up so that the openings are the same diameter, and join them together. Hot glass sticks to hot glass. And then we'll have one bubble that's two colors. These good. Make sure it's clean. You don't pick up any dust or dirt or anything. Well, their hands will be dirty by the end of the day, but at least we won't be rolling it in junk. Me? Somebody told me it was fun. I believe them. They were right. It is fun. It's challenging. It's sort of like golf. It's it's always a little too hard, no matter how good you get at it. You really can't master it. So it always keeps you coming back. Yeah, keep them close. So hi. Oh my God, you all sit down. Boy, there's a lot of you. So welcome to the Museum of Glass. These are our glass blowers. They work for the museum. Ben is the tall guy carrying the pipe. Sarah just walking over to the bench. And Courtney is the man with the long beard. And we're making some sculptures out of glass that are going to kind of look like this one, only bigger. So let me just give you just a quick introduction to how glass blowing works. Everything that we do starts out in our furnaces. The furnaces are the machines where you see the doors close. If you look up on the big screen, there's a drawing. That's what the furnaces look like inside. So inside each one of those furnaces, there's a big ceramic pot. In that pot is 1,000 pounds of melted glass. We keep the glass at 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit. That temperature is the same as the hottest volcano. So inside those furnaces, it's hot as the hottest volcano. At that temperature, the glass is all melted. It has the consistency of honey. It's like a big giant jar of honey. When we want to get the glass out to make stuff, we take one of those steel pipes and we dip it into the melted glass like you dip it into a big jar of honey. We dip it in, twirl it around, A little bit of glass sticks to the end of the pipe. The pipe is hollow, so when you blow, the ball of glass blows up like a balloon. If you want to make something bigger, you dip it in, you blow a bubble, you let it harden, and then you dip it in a second time or a third time. And each time you get more glass to make something bigger. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys know what glass is made of? Sand, right. It's actually made of three things, but sand is the big one. You're right about that. There's three ingredients, yes? Sand. Sand, soda ash, and lime. So sand is the big one. Soda ash is a chemical which makes the sand easier to melt, and the lime stabilizes the mixture chemically. So we take those three ingredients, we throw them into the furnace, we cook them overnight at 2,400 degrees. They all melt together and make glass. That glass will be clear glass. It'll be like the glass in your windows. If we want to make colored glass, then we add some kind of metal. So if we take sand, soda ash, and lime, and we cook it up with cobalt, the glass turns blue. If we cook it up with chromium, that's another metal, that glass turns green. If we cook it up with a little bit of gold, the glass turns red. So it's not always the color that you would expect. So if you watch Ben, he's walking over to the furnace. He's going to let that bubble cool and stiffen a bit, and he's going to coat it with clear glass. So that glass he just added, that's clear glass, but it's so hot that it's glowing. So that orangey color that you're seeing, that's the glow from the heat. So the bubble, that first bubble he had was white, and he put clear glass over it, but it's so hot right now, it looks orange. The lady in the light gray shirt at the center, that's Katherine Gray, our guest artist. So everything we're making today is her design. Can we put up some of Katherine's work up on the big screen? So some of you may have seen Katherine on a TV show called Blown Away. Does anybody see Blown Away? Katherine was a judge on the Blown Away TV show. Nothing. So Katherine's an old friend of ours. She used to live in Seattle. And so we know her pretty well. Currently, she's a professor at Cal State San Bernardino. And her work is in many famous museums. She's a graduate of the Rhode Island School of Design. Yes. What? There's two kinds of furnaces. The glory holes, the round ones, those get turned off. The glass furnaces stay on 24/7. Do you guys have any questions? No? Yes. Speak loud. Has anyone got burned? We get little burns, like you might if you worked in a kitchen or something, but nothing that makes you go to the doctor. Yes. Yes. What if it doesn't turn out we like it? Well, then I guess we make another one. Make the next one better. If the if the if we're only working with clear glass, we can recycle it. We can bust it up and melt it again. If we're working with the colored glass, we don't have a good way of recycling. Yes. How long do we work? 10 to 1 and 2 to 5. 5 days a week. 7 days a week. 5 days a week in the winter. Yeah. Why do you choose to make glass? Because it's both fun, hard, and pretty. It's fun to do, it's hard to do, and it's very pretty when you're done. Yes, way in the back. Yell at me. Did somebody repeat what he's asking? I can't hear him from here. What? What do we do when we're done? We go to lunch. Yes. Why is glass so important? Because it's unique. You can see through it. You can make a magnifying glass out of it. You can make the windows keep the rain out. There's just so many things you can do with it, and you can make all sorts of pretty stuff with it. How long? How long have we been working? Well, Ben, tall guy, he's been working glass for 29 years. Uh, Catherine, I would say about 25 years. Sarah, about 23 years. So long time. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll bring her over. She's a little busy at the moment. We'll bring her over when she has a chance. Or you could tell me the question. I could ask Catherine. Yeah. When was the hot shot made? In 2002. So we're 20 and a half years old. Yeah. Do you like making glass? Yeah. It's fun, but it's hard. So sometimes it's so hard you curse it, but other times it's really fun when you do something right. Yes. Are you able to make glass at your home? It's hard because you need these machines. So it's hard to do it at home. Yes. How long does it take to make one sculpture? I'm guess these things are probably about an hour and a half. But an hour and a half plus 20 years. When was the Glass Museum made? In 2002. So that was like 20, 21 years ago almost. Yes. Can you make glass what? Can we make glass? Can you make glass here? No. Sorry. What? Was a glass museum? I think it was inspired by wealthy people that collected glass. They thought we should have a glass museum in Tacoma. Yes. Hold on, let me get close so I can hear you. Yes, Miles. How do people get burned? Sometimes they touch a hot tool. They've been shaping the glass with a tool, and the tool doesn't look hot, but it is. And if you touch it, you get burned. What do we do if we drop the glass? Well, if it breaks, we sweep it up, we clean it up. If it's okay, we'll pick it up again and try to fix it. Yes. Uh-huh. What do we do if we make a mistake and do the wrong stuff? It depends. Some mistakes you can fix, and some you can't. If it's a mistake that we can fix, then we heat it up again, make it soft, try to fix it. If it's something that we can't fix, then we just make another one. We start all over. Yes. What inspired me to make glass? I had a friend who made glass, and she told me it was fun. So I decided to try it, and she was right. Yes. A little louder. Where do you get lava? Lava comes from volcanoes. There's actually certain kinds of lava, when it cools, it makes a rock that's called obsidian. And that rock is actually glass. Yes. A little louder. What happens if the metal bar falls? We pick it up. Do I know when what was made? Do I know when Blown Away was made? Uh, they're just about, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago, because there's, this spring they're going to have the fourth season. Catherine, would you answer some questions for the kids? Okay, this is Catherine Gray. She's our guest artist. She's a super nice person, and she was on TV as the Blown Away judge. If you have questions for Catherine,
Are you guys from Canada? Lake Louise? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. All right.
you want to use the mic, please?
Oh, sure. All right.
Who's got a question?
There's lots of questions. Let's go. You in the red hat. Oh gosh, you guys speak a little louder. We're making a variation on. Can you guys see this down here? It's sort of a bowl with white around the edge, and that's actually like a blue colored glass underneath, but then it's got an iridescent coating around the outside. So that comes later, but we're just kind of making that base part now. It looks what?
It looks rainbow inside.
Yeah, that's this iridescent coating that I apply. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Yep. Heat strokes. Not so much. Some people do, and people that maybe aren't used to the heat, but these guys in particular like blow glass every day pretty much, so they're pretty acclimatized. Yeah. So when we finish with what's on the blowpipe here, there'll be a little bit of glass left on there that just kind of waste glass that'll eventually kind of explode and pop off. So we put it in those barrels to kind of contain that glass. All right, way back up the top there. You're going to have to shout. How do you color the glass? So there's two different ways. So generally in our furnaces, it's just clear glass, clear colorless glass. And to introduce color, we have to use things like this, which is like a kind of concentrated colored glass. So we'll pick up a little chunk of this, heat it up, and I don't know if you saw, we were just doing the white on the piece there on the middle bench. So we kind of drop that over a little small clear bubble and then gather clear glass over it. When we blow it out, it's like a lining of color. So that gives us, an option of like all these color bars. These are called color bars or color rods, come in a wide variety of colors. So depending on what we want to make, we can access those. Another way, but not as common anymore, is actually just putting chemicals in with the glass. So you have like a whole furnace full of colored glass. It's kind of a big commitment and can, contaminate your furnace for if you want to go back to clear glass. So not a lot of people do that as much anymore. All right, how about you with the blue face mask? Okay. Oh my gosh, I have such bad hearing. Oh, how long did do you know how long it took them?
I do not know. I don't know.
All right, you with the glasses. Oh, getting to work with other glass blowers, honestly. It's so much fun to like work with other people, especially people that are as good as these guys and who love what they're doing. All right, one more question. How about you? Do you have a question? Yeah. Yes, he's asking if there's going to be a season 4, and we're actually going to go film in about a month. So it'll probably be towards maybe the end of this year or early next year where it'll actually be released on Netflix. All right, you're the last question for me, but then we'll do.
They make the things I'm blown away. Can we get them somewhere? Like I've been looking for those taco shell holders.
Oh,
Season 1.
yes.
So, and they have plastic ones, but I kind of like the elegance of the glass.
Yeah, your best bet would be to follow Deborah Cheresco on Instagram and or just send her a message. I'm sure she sells them.
Okay.
I just don't know where. Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Walt. I've got to get back.
So let's have a big thank you for Katherine. All right. Now you guys are stuck with me. The big round oven that he's heating up the glass in, that's called the glory hole. It runs on natural gas and forced air, and we keep it at 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's 200 degrees hotter than the hottest volcano. Yes. What do we do for one of the workers? What? For their birthday? We get them a cake. We sing happy birthday. On their birthday, we get them a cake. We sing happy birthday just like anyone else. That's called the block. It's made out of wood. It's stored in a bucket of water. As long as the wood is wet, we can shape the glass without leaving any marks. So now Ben in the center is shaping the glass with a folded up piece of newspaper, ordinary newspaper. As long as it's wet, it doesn't burn too much, it doesn't leave any marks as he shapes the glass. Katherine is holding a wooden paddle in front of his arm to shield him from the heat.
What's the sprayer that she has?
That's compressed air. It's the smoke from the paper doesn't get in the glass blower's eyes. Yes. Yeah. Did you hear what he said? CGI? Computer. Ma'am? Did you hear this question? Oh, what about this building? Why is the building shaped this way? Is that what you're asking? No? Oh. Yes. Why does it look like the Tacoma Dome? Why is it so high? So the whole building is like kind of like a giant chimney. You're sitting in a giant chimney, so that the hot air from the furnaces goes up and out the top. Yes. How much Celsius is the furnace? It's 1150 Celsius. The glory hole is 1250 Celsius. Yes, Miles. What is glass made of? It's made out of three things. It's mostly melted sand, and there's another chemical called soda ash that makes the sand easier to melt, and a chemical called lime that holds the whole thing together. So sand, soda ash, and lime, but mostly melted sand. What if this collapsed? Then we'd all get hit on the head. If this collapsed, we'd all get hit on the head. But I don't think it's going to collapse. That would be my guess. Yes. Do I have a favorite piece? No. I'm not a favorite guy. I don't have a favorite colors or favorite food or anything. Yes.
What do you do with the broken colored glass that you can't recycle?
Most of the time we throw it away.
Is there a way to recycle it?
Not. We've tried to get artists to come in and collect it for art projects. We've done that a couple of times, but it's hard to do anything on a regular basis.
Would you allow a school to come in and recycle pieces?
No, because the little scraps are not cooled properly and they can explode. So we don't want to blow it up in kids' faces.
How do you guys make the iridescent coating?
The iridescent, it's called a dichroic coating, and they have a chamber with a vacuum in it, and they vaporize different metals, and the different metals deposit on the surface of the glass. It's called vapor deposition. So it's kind of a space age technology. So Katherine blows on the shapes, and then she takes them to a technological company where they coat it with the dichroic coating. Do you guys have any questions? Depends on how complicated. These are probably an hour and a half to time. Out of the volcano. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thank you for your patience when we have the. So we made two bubbles for this sculpture. In the center, they're working on the white one. Over on the left, we made the start for the blue one. And we're going to put it in that silver oven. That silver oven is called the garage. We call it the garage because that's where we park stuff until we're ready to use it. The garage operates at half the temperature of the furnaces. It's hot enough to keep the glass from breaking, but it's not hot enough to make it soft. So whatever goes in there stays warm, holds its shape. When we're ready to assemble it, we'll pull it out, heat it up a little extra, and stick the two parts together.
I thought the kids had a lot of good questions. Do they? Is that common? I've never been here with as a school group.
Yeah, they usually they love about disaster. They want to know what happens if you get burned.
Yeah. And how you fix the things
What
that are
happens if you
broken.
stick your hand in the glory hole?
Yeah.
I don't think I was that. So we're opening up the end of that bubble. Can we put up the Encalmo slide again? So we're going to make two bubbles, different colors. We're going to open the ends of them up, and we'll stick the two ends together. That will have a two-tone bubble to make the sculpture. That's called Encalmo. Hi, guys. What school are you from? Lake Louise. Oh, just like the other guys. Are you all different grades, or you're all the same grade? Third grade. Okay. Well, welcome to the Museum of Glass. The woman in the white shirt at the center, that's Katherine Gray. She's our guest artist for the day, and she's working with our team of glassblowers from the museum. And we're going to make one of her sculptures. So we've got two bubbles of different colors. The man sitting at the bench, that bubble is white. And the second bubble that we're going to attach is blue. The colors that you're seeing are distorted by the heat. I only know it's blue because they told me it's blue. Yes? How does the glass... Say that again? Oh, how's the glass? The hotness inside the big oven is just to make the glass soft. So we cook it in the ones with the doors closed. Can we put up the glass furnace diagram? So you have a big pot in there, and we put the ingredients in, sand, soda ash, and lime, and we cook it up. And when we want to shape it, we put it in those round ovens. That's very hot and makes the glass soft, and then we can shape it. Do you guys have any questions? Yes. Why is this place so tall? The whole building is like a giant chimney so that the hot air from the furnaces goes up and out the top. Yep.
Why
Why is it leaning? Because if we just had a straight up cone, then we just have a small circle at the base, and there wouldn't be enough room for the shop and the seating and another shop. So when you lean it, it makes a big oval at the bottom, and we get more floor space. Yes. We do make it from sand. How do we get the glass in the first place? There's a company in North Carolina, and they send us a mixture called batch, and it has all the ingredients, like a cake mix, and we shovel it into the furnace, and we cook it, and all those different ingredients melt together and make glass. Well, we buy it in the raw ingredients. We have to cook it here to make it into glass. Not all glasses are made from sand, but most of them are. You can make glasses out of metal. They're not very good at some. So now we've joined the two bubbles together. There's a little nub of extra glass on the end. We're going to heat that up with the torch, make it soft, and clean it up. We have two different ways in which we heat up the glass. Sometimes we heat it up in the big round ovens, the glory holes. Sometimes we heat it up with torches. When we heat it up with the torches, it allows us to focus the heat in a particular place. So those torches we're just heating up the parts that we want to shape. Yes. How do you color the glass? When you first cook up the glass, you add different metals to make different colors. So if you cook up the raw ingredients with cobalt, it turns blue. If you cook it up with chromium, it turns green. If you hook it up with uranium, it turns yellow-green. Yeah. What happens if you get burned? You put your burn in cold water, and that takes the sting away. What would happen? If you burn yourself with a torch, I think you'd have to go to the doctor and have them fix it. Yeah. Me, 15 years. Uh-huh. No. No, we have a couple others that work here. These are the people that are working today. Yes. Can you repeat what she said? Water. The little pad in his hand is just folded up newspaper. But if we keep it wet, then it doesn't burn too much when we shape the glass. Can we put up the newspaper photo? So if you look up on the big screen, that's what he's using to shape the glass. Yes, sir. What's a sleeve? That sleeve is made. It's made out of Kevlar, which is a material which protects him against the heat. So it's to keep his arm protected while he shapes the glass. Kevlar is also used to make bulletproof vests, and it's also used, firemen wear it when they go into burning buildings. Yes. What do we use the water? We use the water on the newspaper and the wooden tools to keep them from burning. We also use water here to cool our pipes off if they get too hot. That's for heating up the whole thing. Yeah. Every night do we keep that on? The furnace where we have the big tank of molten glass, that's on all the time. The round ones where you see they're working in and out of, those are the glory holes. Those are only on during the working day. Yes. That's how you leave. How hot does it? The glass, when it comes straight out of the furnace, it's 2,100 degrees. That's as hot as the hottest volcano. What? It's hot, yes. Well, when the glass comes straight out of the furnace, it's 2,100 degrees. That's as hot as the hottest volcano. Yes. How many times are they going to put it in the oven? Quite a few. Quite a few. See, it only when we put it in the oven, it gets soft, but only for a little while. So we do whatever shaping we can while it's hot and soft, and when it starts to get stiff again, we have to go back and put it in the oven again. The torches? Yeah, torches, we use them when we need to heat the glass in a particular place. So we can focus them on the top or the bottom or the middle and just get that part extra hot and soft. Yes. How do they heat up the what? The bottom? They use the torches. See, he's got the torch now, and he's heating it up the part near the pipe. He wants to make that part extra soft so he can shape it. Yes. You mean in the room itself? Oh, sometimes in the summer it's up over 100 degrees. Right now it's kind of nice in here. Yes, Miles. What is glass made of? It's made of melted sand. Now we have all the glass we need to make the sculpture. We've attached the two bubbles of different colors. Now we're going to blow it up to its full size and shape. Sarah's heating it up in the glory hole. the round furnace, make it soft, and she'll bring it back to the workbench where Ben will start to shape it. Ben is the tall guy sitting at the workbench. Sarah's the woman holding the pipe, heating it up. Courtney is the man with the long beard. And Catherine Gray in the white t-shirt, she's our artist. They were making her design sculpture. Can we put up some of Catherine's work up on the big screen? So these are some of the sculptures by our guest artist, Catherine Gray. She's a professor at an art college, Cal State San Bernardino. She makes all kinds of interesting different things. Stop right there for a second. So these are the kind of sculpture that we're going to make out of this bubble. We're going to make the form today in the hot shop. It's going to have to cool overnight, and then she's going to take it to a place that'll put on the iridescent coating. Yeah.
That looks like that.
Yes. Yep.
And if it ever gets too hot, do you guys have a hot bucket?
Have a bucket.
If something gets too hot, if somebody is like,
If a
gets-
person's
they're
too
getting
hot,
burned.
we just go to the bathroom and wash our face. Sometimes we spray water on ourselves.
They have water down there.
How long do you see people that work down here?
How long do they work down here? You mean each day or the whole lives?
How long do they work here till they
Well, well, this one I think is going to take about an hour and a half. An hour and a half plus 20 years. Yes, ma'am. Why do they roll it? They roll it because the glass is soft, and if they stop turning it, the glass will sag. Yeah.
why don't they just use that to make it warm?
Because sometimes they want to heat up the whole thing. Sometimes they want to heat it up in a specific spot. When they want to heat up the whole thing, they put it in the big round oven. When they just want the heat in one place, they use the torches. Yes. Can you repeat what he said? Why'd you use the blowtorch? The blowtorches get the glass hot and soft because it's fire, and the blowtorches we can heat it up just exactly where we want it. Where we put it in the big oven, it heats it more generally. So Catherine is blowing. She's blowing through that steel tube. It's like blowing up a big balloon. So you can see that the glass bubble is getting bigger.
What is the temperature to bind together?
What's the temperature of
To bind together. Like all of it combined.
all of them combined?
Yeah, all the heat.
All the heat? I don't know. They're different. These things are different temperatures. I've never added them up.
I'm pretty sure it'd be harder than sun's surface.
No, no way. Sun's surface is much, much hotter.
But you know Earth's way harder than sun's surface.
How much does that weigh? Let me see when it comes out. Say 12, 15 pounds, plus another 10 for the steel pole. Yes. What happens if they drop it? Well, if it's okay, we just pick it up. If there's something wrong with it, we try to fix it. And if it's really busted or something, then we have to make another one. But we have thousands of pounds of glass, so we're not afraid to make another one. Yes.
What happens if it falls off of the...
It's cold, it'll break. If it's hot and soft, it'll make a big dent in it. Oh, every once in a great while. Sometimes. We blew it up like the balloon. Blast it, no, with our breath. It's just basically a big glass balloon. Fancy one. Yes. Flames, because we want to make it hot, but we only want it hot in a certain place. So the torch only heats up a certain part of it. So Catherine is blowing. As she blows through that steel tube, the glass gets bigger like a balloon, and Ben, the man sitting at the bench, shapes the glass with his pad of newspaper.
What happened after my head there? Will my head be that big?
Yes.
Well, my head will be that big.
We can only blow your head up if it's empty.
Yeah, hopefully my head be that big. Daddy, I don't put my head there, my head be that big.
Yeah. Well, the more we blew it, the bigger your head would be.
The was my head in the...
How do we get the ovens to be so hot? We use natural gas, like a gas stove in your house, but much bigger. So it's a lot of fire makes it so hot. So Ben is squeezing the glass and making a sharp crease in it. That crease is the place where we'll be able to break the glass away from the metal pipe once we're done shaping. Catherine, seated to the left, she's blowing as Ben shapes the glass with the wet newspaper. Looks kind of like a big eyeball now.
How long do they do this for? Like, how long is a job?
How long's their job? They work from 8:30 to 5:30. They get here at 8:30. We blow glass from 10 to 1, We eat lunch, and then we blow glass from 2 to 5.
Oh, there you go.
Have any of you kids seen the TV show Blown Away, with a glass blowing show on Netflix? Well, if you do watch it, you can see Katherine, our guest artist. She's the judge on the TV show. You guys have any questions? Pipes and stuff? It's okay. How is glass made up of glass? Well, you make it from three things: sand, soda ash, and lime. So it's not glass when you first start. You put those things in a big oven and you cook them overnight, and all those things melt together and become glass. Just like if you're making a cake, you take water and flour and eggs and you put them in the oven, you bake them, and then it's a cake. When we put our glass when we're finished, we put it in these big ovens over there. You see those big black ovens? And we cool it down very slowly overnight. So our, for this sculpture, we want that blue part to go in instead of out. So we're going to heat that up, and then we're going to suck in, and the blue part will go curve inside instead of out, concave. Yeah. How big can the circle get? Anything that will fit through the door. Once it's bigger than the door, then we can't make it anymore. Yes. We're using the paddles mostly for shielding the glass blower's arm from the heat. The heat comes off the glass as radiant heat, like an outdoor heater. It heats the first thing it strikes. So if you put the paddle between the arm and the glass, the paddle gets hot and the arm doesn't. So Catherine is using a torch to soften part of the glass. So just that part with the fire on it, only that part will get hotter and softer. See you guys. All you adults in the room, yeah.
Does Margaritas ever come here?
Yeah, every once in a great while.
My husband was one of his students, so I didn't know I'd like to see him.
Oh, he's not here now.
Well, my husband ain't here either.
Special project, fabricating stuff.
Good to know. Thank you. Love it.
So now, Nick, seated to the left, is sucking in. It'll make that blue part will come inward, it'll be concave. Hi, how are you guys? Good. Are you from Lake Louise? All right. Everybody sits down. So this is our team of glass blowers here. We got Ben, is a tall guy sitting in the center bench. Sarah is the woman holding the pipe with the glass on it. Catherine Gray is the woman in the white shirt. She's the artist today. So everything we're making is her design. Katherine is a professor at a college, Cal State San Bernardino, and she teaches glass making there. And you also, if you may have seen her on television, she's in a show called Blown Away. Has anybody seen Blown Away? You guys? Hi. Do you guys have any questions?
No, man. What are you doing? We're just watching.
Okay. Watching is good.
My eyes are. Yeah, it's burning fire. What do you think?
So we're making a big version of this sculpture here.
Yeah, I knew it. Can I feel it? Can we feel it? Oh, man. He's making my nose.
What? The iridescence, it's a dichroic coating. It's metal vacuum deposition. You put it in a vacuum, and you take a metal and you heat it up till it breaks up, and then the metal is deposited on the surface of the glass, and it forms this iridescent coating. Yeah, this is like a big version of that. So that's what the glass. That's the glass without the coating on it. And then we're going to cool it overnight. She's going to sandblast the surface, and then we're going to put it in this special machine that coats it with the diachroic glass. How do you get the bubbles in it? You mean, how do we make the bubble? You mean when glass is bubbly with lots of bubbles, or how do we make this kind of bubble? If we want to make it bubbly, we dip the glass in a mixture of baking soda and water. We dip it in real quick. Can we put up the baking soda drawing? See, we'll have a little diagram. So look up on the big screen. So we have a bucket with baking soda and water. We dip the glass in there really quick, and the water evaporates and leaves baking soda on the surface, and then we dip it in the melted glass, and the baking soda bubbles up, and you get bubbly glass. We're getting ready to take the sculpture off the metal rod. We're going to place it in a special oven called the annealer, where it'll be cooled very slowly overnight. We'll take a wet file and score the glass. There he goes. Put a little more water on there. Then we'll give the pipe a tap. Off it comes. We'll melt the little edge where we broke it off so it's not sharp. And we'll take it to our annealing oven, where it would be cooled very slowly overnight. So let's have a big hand for the Museum of Glass Hot Shop team and our guest artist, Katherine Gray. Ben Cobb, Courtney Branham, Sarah Gilbert, and of course our artist, Katherine Gray. Can we play color overlay?
The color in glass comes from adding various materials to the mixture of raw ingredients called batch. Most of the colorants are compounds containing some kind of metal. For example, adding cobalt to clear glass creates a deep blue. Tin and antimony can be used to create white glass, and gold chloride can produce a rich red or pink colored glass. Colored glass is melted in furnaces, just like clear glass, and then is usually rolled into bars for storage and easy application. In order to apply color bar to a bubble, we first need to preheat the color to approximately 950 or 1000 degrees Fahrenheit in a color oven or garage. Once warm, the color is then picked up on the end of a punty rod using a little bit of clear glass as a support. The color is then heated in the 2300 degree glory hole to soften it and make it malleable, while another artist creates a small bubble of clear glass on a blowpipe. Once warm, the color is dropped over the clear bubble, and then using a variety of hand tools or the steel marver, the color is rolled back over the clear in an even layer. This process is called dropping color, or creating a color overlay. Depending on the project, that bubble is then usually gathered over with clear glass and blown into the final form. The finished product may appear to be all made from colored glass, but when viewed in cross-section, we can see that there is only a thin layer of color sandwiched between many layers of clear glass.
See, that's what we're going to do next. We're going to make two different bubbles. We're going to coat them with colored glass, like you saw in the little movie, and then we're going to join the two bubbles together to make the sculpture. So right now, Katherine Gray, our guest artist, is got a chunk of colored glass, white, I think, and she's heating it up in that round oven called the glory hole. One of the glass blowers is going to blow a bubble of clear glass, and we're going to coat that clear bubble with the white glass. Has anybody got any questions? Yes. How do you blow into it? It's like, well, when you were little, did you ever blow bubbles in your milk? It's like that. So instead of a straw, we use that big steel tube, and we blow into it, and then bubbles come out the other end. Do we ever mess up? Sure. Sometimes we break it. Yep. And we just make another one. Yeah. Burn sometimes, like you might if you worked in a kitchen?
Oh yeah, sometimes I burn my
Yes. Yes. Does he ever drop it? No, he's too scared to drop it. Those gloves protect his hand. The gloves are made out of Kevlar. It's a special material that firemen wear when they go into a burning building, so it protects you against the heat. Hi, how are you guys? Do you guys have any questions? He does.
I have one question.
Yep.
Is it okay if you guys do more things over here?
Is it okay if we do more things over here? No. We have to do them at the workbench.
Well, then I have one thing.
Yes, you have a question? We just be careful.
How do you kids not get hot by standing?
We do get hot by standing in front of the furnace. So sometimes we have to go wash our face. But we get used to it. Well, first it seems kind of scary, but after you've done it for a while, you get used to it. Yeah.
If we can't do anything over here,
Right.
why did he put it?
This over here is to cool down the metal pipe.
Okay, but why'd you put it over here once you can't do it by us?
Because
You guys get burned, and it might.
no, because we have to set up there because that's where we work, and just every once in a while we come over here where we cool off the pipe. Yes.
Can you guys if we draw something, could you guys make it?
That's a good question. If you draw something, could we make it? We have a contest for kids. Any kid that comes to the museum can do a drawing. Once a month, we pick one of the drawings, just one, and we make whatever you drew out of glass. We make 2 copies, one for you to keep, and one. How do you win? Well, we have, if you go out into the lobby.
Your favorite thing. So you choose mine.
Oh, you got the entry forms? Yes, so Xerox them, one for each kid, and they can do a drawing, and you can mail it in, and if we pick one of your drawings, we'll make it out of glass. Yes, we'll make one for you to keep.
So I have one question. What happens if you don't get it?
Then you'd have to try again.
Do you have to pay to come here?
Yes.
You have to pay to draw and stuff?
No.
Why are we here? Who's paying?
Your school. Your school is paying, but not. That's just regular room temperature water. Could we play Kids Design Glass? We'll show you what we've done with some of the kids in the past. So these are some of the kids that won our contest.
It's a baby monster. Pip is a baby monster that loves to smile and laugh. Even though he's little and cute, he gives a big cry. Also, Pip loves food, especially bananas. He will eat any speck of food in sight.
Oh, it's amazing. Totally amazing. And then especially if the pieces of art go traveling around, other kids will see, oh my gosh, I could do that too. You know, it's not just somebody else that, they did it, I couldn't do that. Absolutely not. Anyone can do this. And I think that's what it shows the kids.
Maybe not everybody can win them.
But, and
I think it's gonna stand up there with one of the coolest things that a museum has ever done.
What is it? A cucumber all dressed up for a night on the town? That's pretty ridiculously funny.
The funnest part about this project is how fresh the ideas are coming from the kids who they have no idea of glass blowing techniques. They don't care.
Nobody saw this coming. We'd make one piece and it was given to the family. And then we realized, well, wait a second, there's something more here. We started to get more drawings, more interesting drawings, and it really kind of snowballed a little bit.
Bacon Boy was special. shows that, you know, there's an artist in all of us, I think. So, and it's human nature to be creative. And so I think we lose that as we get older sometimes, and it's cool to see this pure creative nature that children possess. So I think it's cool to share that with the rest of the world, hopefully. So.
Thank you for supporting Kids Design Glass.
So we have two kinds of furnaces here that we use to make the glass. We have the glory holes and the furnaces, glass furnaces. The glass furnaces are the ones where you see the doors closed. Can we put up the glass furnace diagram? So you look up on the big screen, that's what that machine looks like inside. So in the inside, there's a big ceramic pot, and in that ceramic pot, there's 1,000 pounds of melted glass. We keep the melted glass at 2,100 degrees, and at that temperature, the glass is soft, it's like honey. When we want to get the glass out to make stuff, we take one of those steel pipes and we dip them in the melted glass like you're dipping into a big jar of honey. We dip it in, twirl it around, a little bit of the glass sticks to the pipe. The pipe is hollow, so if you blow in the other end, the glass blows up like a balloon. Once we get the glass out of the furnace, it only stays soft for a little while. So we do whatever shaping or blowing we can while it's still hot and soft. And when it starts to get stiff, we go to the round furnaces, and those are called glory holes. Those have no glass in them. They're just a hot chamber for heating and softening the glass while we're working. Yes, ma'am. What piece is? She's working on a piece that's similar to this one here, only bigger. Nope. So now Ben is going over to our big furnace. Ben's a tall guy in shorts, and he's dipping that pipe into the big tank of molten glass, and he's coating it with a fresh layer of clear glass. The clear glass is very hot, so it looks orange. The orange that you're seeing is the glow from the heat. The bubble underneath is white, but you can't see that right now because the glass is so hot, it's glowing orange. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes, I have one question.
She had it first. How long does it take for the glass to get cold? There's two answers to that question. If we just put it on the table and let it cool on its own, it would be cool in 20 minutes. but it would break. If we want to keep it, we put it in one of these big black ovens and we cool it very slowly overnight, and then it doesn't break. I think he was next. 11:42.
When do we leave?
Now, that's a question for your teachers. I have no idea when you leave. You had a question, man? Oh. You have a question? No. You guys got any questions up there? Yes. The team. They don't let me near the music. I'm old and I like old things. We're making a big sculpture for Katherine Gray. It's going to be like a big version of this. Yes. Say that again? What does a spoon do? That's for shaping the glass. That's a tool called the block. And when we roll it in that spoon-shaped tool, it makes the thing nice and round and even. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, sir.
Are these stable enough to hold someone?
I've never tried them. Yes. Does it hurt when you burn yourself? Yeah, a little bit. It's annoying, just like getting burned in a kitchen. Cold water is the best thing for a burn. Yes.
I can tell it's probably not too hot or too since this is hot. So, but does it still like burn a little bit?
Only burns if you touch something really hot. It gets hot in here in the summer. In the winter, it's not so bad. That tool that he's shaping the glass with is called the block. It's made out of wood. It's stored in a bucket of water. As long as the wood is wet, the tool doesn't burn, and he can make the glass nice and round and even with it. It's called the block, B-L-O-C-K. A big round one with a big dish in the middle. You have to wait till they make it to see it. It's like the one on that table, only much bigger. I'm going to show you the one on the table. The sculpture that they're making is a bigger version of this here. Yes, sir. How can you tell? Oh, well, because it's wet. Yes, that's made out of newspaper. It's not a towel. Can we put up the newspaper picture? So it's just regular newspaper folded over a bunch of times and soaked in water. and he can shape the glass without leaving any marks. It's just a pad of wet newspaper. Can we put up some pictures of Catherine's work? The woman in the white shirt is Katherine Gray. She's our artist today. There you go. Catherine's an old friend. She's teaching glassmaking at a college, Cal State San Bernardino. And some of you may have seen her on television. She's in the TV show called Blown Away on Netflix. And it's a competition for glass blowers, and she's one of the judges. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Hope you had a good time. They don't always ask the question you want them to. We're making a similar one to that, only much bigger. We make two bubbles, and we're going to join them together in Calmo, and then suck in, and the blue bubble on the top will become concave. And then she's going to sandblast it, and then take it to a place where they'll apply a dichroic coating. It's a vapor deposition. They kind of vaporize metal, and it gets attracted to the surface, and it forms that iridescent coating. Different metals give you different colors.
I just love looking at that. It is such a gorgeous, that blue one by the Tivoli chandelier. It's just gorgeous. Colors are, yeah.
It's in the out of the vault. Which exhibit is it?
No, it's next to the Tivoli chandelier.
What exhibit is that? Is that the out of the vault? Oh, there's lots of great artists, not only just Woolley.
Yeah, I know, but he's the one people ask about.
He's the one people recognize.
Yeah.
That's our purpose here, get it. Recognize all the other ones.
Yeah.
They know Chihuly from TV.
What color is this going to be? Is it going to
White, and we're going to white and blue bubble and then combo them, and then she's going to put the dichroic coating on later.
So the coating that opaque coating, that's something they do after.
Yes, after it's cold. It's called vacuum deposition. It's a chamber, and they have an electrode. They vaporize metal, and the metal deposits on the surface, and that's what causes the iridescent coating. You see it sometimes on lenses, camera lenses, where they want to put just a super thin coating of metal to block out infrared. Or sandblast it first.
You sandblast
You
it.
get the matte coating, the matte color surface, and then you put it in the vacuum deposition chamber, and you add the dicolor coating. So right now they're letting the bubble cool and stiffen. I'm going to coat it with more clear molten glass. We have to wait a little between each coating. If we go in there with the bubble too hot, the bubble will be too soft and it'll collapse. So we let it cool and stiffen a bit before we add more glass. Hot, it looks orange. That's the glow from the heat. When it cools off, it'll be white on the outside and blue in that middle center section. Katherine Gray, our artist, is not only a talented artist, but a talented writer as well. And she's written many articles with art criticism about glass. Catherine's one of the pioneers of women in the glassblowing shop. Glassblowing has been male-dominated for the first 2,000 years or so. And Catherine's one of about a dozen women who are so talented that the boys can no longer deny it. So she's opened up the door for a lot of young women in the next generation. No, she's working on just pieces that she'll put in an exhibition. So Courtney seated to the left. He's blowing. He's blowing through that steel tube, the blowpipe, and inflating it slightly as Ben, sitting at the bench, shapes it with the pad of wet newspaper. So Catherine is working with our resident team of glassblowers. Ben Cobb in the center, sitting at the workbench. Sarah heating up the glass at the glory hole. Sarah Gilbert. Courtney Branham seated to the left of the bench, getting ready to blow. So Sarah, Ben, and Courtney are working for the museum. And Catherine is our guest artist this week for 5 days. So now Ben is stretching out the front end of that bubble. And we're going to cut off a little knob on the end, and we're going to open that bubble up. So we're going to make 2 bubbles, one with white and one with the blue. And we're going to join the 2 bubbles together. Can we put up the Incalmo drawing? So we're going to make the 2 bubbles of different colors. We're going to open them up to the same diameter. He'll heat up the edges, and we press them together. They'll stick, and we'll have a 2-tone bubble. Say what? Is it already done? No. We're making it. Yeah, the blue bubble is waiting in the garage. We're going to bust that knob off, and that'll give us a place to open up the end of the white bubble. Got to wait till it's a little more cool and a little more brittle. We'll grab it with the shears. And we'll give it a tap, and off that little knob will come, and that'll leave a little hole, and then we'll expand that hole. shitty. Shitty. If you go across the hall to our exhibits, one of the exhibits is out of the vault. Those are things from the museum collection. And you can see a finished piece by our guest artist, Katherine Gray. It'll be next to the Chihuly chandelier. So if you want to see what one of these things look like finished, there's one in the exhibition. Does anybody have any questions? You guys? No? So over on the right, Courtney. the man with the long beard. He's got the blue bubble that we're going to attach. In the center. When we press these two together, hot glass sticks to hot glass. So now we have a two-tone bubble to make the sculpture. So Courtney is blowing. Courtney's on the left. Sarah is doing what's called turning pole. She's helping turn the glass. There's a little bit of clear glass left over from where the glass was attached, where that blue bubble was attached to the metal pipe. Katherine is heating up that little bit of clear glass, and we're going to cut that off. So that was just there as part of the attachment. We don't want it as part of the sculpture. I'm going to pinch it and remove it.